Golos, Tireless Pilgrim versus Queen Marchesa. Kykar wins Fury, and Freyalise Llanowar's Fury. Well, in a 5-colour deck, that is a god-awful hand, so we will have to throw that one away. We get a free mulligan in multiplayer, luckily. Oh god, that's even worse. Well, actually, no, it's not even worse, it's just... Actually, might be okay if we can manage to get into... Do we have Ancient Tomb in this deck? No, we don't have Ancient Tomb, but we can go for a land with the Vampiric Tutor into Sakura Tribalkai, into Azusa and Crucible of Worlds, and just hope that they stick around. If we play the Azusa first and show that we don't have any extra land drops to make, then we can surprise our opponents with a Crucible of Worlds, and hopefully there's no instant speed removal. Our opponent getting into a Chrome Mox on turn 1 and into a Rakdos Signet, so I suppose they're painting themselves as the number 1 target. They discarded a Battlefield Forge. We get into another land anyway, so actually we can hold off on the Vampiric Tutor. That is a very good draw, so let's just... Well, just in case we want to go for a Vamp Tutor, we'll not crack the fetch just yet. Golos, Tireless Pilgrim is a 5-mana 3/5. When it enters the battlefield, you can search your library for a land and put it into play tapped. Then for Wooburgen 2, exile the top 3 cards of your library and you can play them without paying their mana cost. More fast mana from Freyalise, that's a Sol Ring. Freyalise is a 5-mana mono green 3 loyalty Planeswalker commander. It spits out Llanowar Elves for +2, naturalizes for -2, and you can draw a card for each green creature you control at -6. Kykar wins Fury, 4 mana in Jeskai, a 3/3 flyer, sack a spirit for red, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you get a flying spirit token. And then finally, we're back round to Queen Marchesa's turn. She is a 3/3 Mardu commander for 4 mana, Death Touch and Haste. When she enters, she becomes the Monarch, and at the beginning of your upkeep, if an opponent is the Monarch, you get a 1/1 Haste and Death Touch Assassin token. If one of us hits the Monarch player, then we become the Monarch. And luckily they've played their commander, so we can read that. At the beginning of your end step, you draw a card. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, its controller becomes the Monarch. We get into another land, so we're being pretty lucky here. We've got 41 lands in the deck, so it's more likely that we'll draw into them than not. Let's go for blue and white. No, red and white, I think, in Plateau. We'll play out our Sakura Tribalkai, and that can block the Queen Marchesa player if she comes in at us. She hit the Kykar player, by the way, because Queen Marchesa does have haste. Freyalise, just tapping out, has nothing to do with 4 mana, which is very surprising. We'll see if Kykar can get up to Jeskai. They went for a Tormenting Voice. Discard a card and draw 2. And they discarded Echo of Eons. So that is a Time Twister that is in the graveyard now. Flashback of 3. Each player shuffles their hand and graveyard into their library and draws 7. We don't really do anything from the graveyard, so I'm fine with that. Be intrigued to see how long that sits in the graveyard for. A Felwar Stone from Marchesa. Now let's see where they swing in, or if they swing in. They might be worried about our Sakura Tribalkai. Yeah, I am actually going to just take this. They need to play a creature if they don't want us to take the monarchy away from them. Usually we would chump there and then sacrifice it in response. They go for Serra Ascendant. And they do have 30 or more life, so that is a 6/6 lifelinker. So in that case, we might as well just sacrifice it now. Grab ourselves an island here. Pretty spiky Queen Marchesa deck that we've got here. I don't think I've come across her all that often in multiplayer, but she's one of my favourite commanders to play. Only ever played her in 1 versus 1 though. Now we do have means of wiping the board, but we do have some means of wiping the board, but I just want to see if our opponents are actually going to do anything about this threat. or not. I mean, there's mono green there. Kykar should be able to do something, but they'll probably do it with white if they're going to wipe the board. How likely is it that we get our Crucible of Worlds blown up? Yeah, I say we just go for the Crucible over the Azusa. I think it's more likely that Azusa would die, actually, than the Crucible of Worlds. Let's play this fetch. We could have played the one from the bin, but I don't particularly mind having 2 fetches in the graveyard. We will play that out and hold up the Worldly Tutor. I don't think we're going to be playing Worldly Tutor, but in fact, I'm almost confident we're not going to be playing Worldly Tutor, but we will hold it up anyway. You never know, we might change our mind. A Deep Forest Hermit for the Freyalise player, so it might be that they're playing some kind of token overrun build. Makes it less likely that Marchesa and the Serra Ascendant are going to be going in at the Freyalise player. Now, anyone who saw the first Golos deck that I released, or the first video that I released, I've made a few changes. I mentioned at the end of that video that we need to be playing at flash speed. Well, it looks like Jeskai over here is not worried about making land drops because they discarded an island to the Desperate Ravings. But yeah, anyway, we have some flash enablers now in the 2 flash enable lands that I can't remember the name of. Alchemist's Refuge is one of them, and then there's a newer one than that you have to sacrifice. And there's also Vidalcan Orrery and Leyline of Anticipation. We may go for the Mirari's Wake first, and then go for Azusa and drop a lot of lands into play. And then we can try and get something like Seedborn Muse going with the Worldly Tutor off of the Golos. And then maybe go for a Flash Enabler with the Vampiric Tutor. That's going to take a few turns to set all of that up, and who knows if we're actually going to survive until then. A Smothering Tithe comes down for Queen Marchesa, and they do get that card draw from the Monarchy. A Snapcaster Mage for us will be useful with the fast tutors. Definitely not going to put mana into Smothering Tithe. Now, instead of going for something really flashy like Azusa and painting a little bit more of a target onto ourselves than we might otherwise have, I'm just going to go for a single fetch from the bin here. We'll grab the... what do we want? We need another blue, red and black source. We'll just grab the Tropical Island here, and then we can go in for Mirari's Wake. And if that makes it through to next turn, then we should be looking pretty good. Because then we'll be able to drop Azusa and play 3 lands, and that will put us up by 6 mana, plus whatever mana we've got left over there. I mean, we'll tap down a couple of lands for 4 mana, we'll have 1 floating, then it'll be 2, 4, 6, 12, 13 mana we'll have next turn, if we go for that line of play. Now, the Freyalise player can go wide on Queen Marchesa and steal the Monarchy away. Oh, they've gotten down. Ugh, that came out of nowhere, didn't it? They've got the Gaia's Cradle and went straight into Crater Hoof Behemoth. Let's see if they want to alpha swing at someone here. Yeah, they're going in at Queen Marchesa. And I think they keep the Monarchy token if Queen Marchesa's taken out here. Yeah, usually going in for something like a Gaia's Cradle into a Crater Hoof is something that I'd roll my eyes at, but with the power that Queen Marchesa has been showing this game, I actually don't mind them getting an alpha swing and knocked out of the game. They decide to block the Crater Hoof with Queen Marchesa. That does have trample, so it will only block 3 points of damage, but they still go down to -2, so wow, very impressive from the Freyalise player, getting rid of by far the most threatening player at the table. Definitely have to keep an eye on this Freyalise player. Down comes Kykar, and a Skull Clamp. That is a really good one for Kykar. They do have the mana up to clamp the Spirit as well. Yeah, looks like Kykar is just starting to get some things going here. This is one of the fastest multiplayer games that I've ever played. Alright, we've got a Scrubland there. I don't think there's any need for us to use all the fetches, although we could just keep a land in hand for later for the value. Let's play our Azusa, and we will play both of our fetches. We want another black and another red, so that can be a Badlands. We'll play another fetch. And I don't really know what we're going for here, so let's just get down all of our dual lands. Now we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Yep, I did work it out correctly last turn. I don't think we can go for our commander and activate our commander, though, is the only thing. So let's just cast Golos and hope that it survives until next turn. Emergent Zone is the other flash enabler I was talking about. Now we could go for Alchemist's Refuge right now or Field of the Dead. I quite like the idea of Field of the Dead because, yeah, we can go for lots of zombies with that. Now we have to get Alchemist's Refuge. The whole point in the deck is playing at flash speed. Now then, let's get ourselves into a Jace the Mind Sculptor. And that will encourage our opponent to swing in at Jace, and we can maybe get rid of some of those squirrel tokens. Kykar can just fly on straight through. We'll get a free brainstorm here. And there's another brainstorm, that's useful. Let's just throw the Felwar Stone and the Scrubland on top. We can draw into Scrubland next turn, I don't mind that. Yeah, so assuming that we hold on to Mirari's Wake and our Golos, we can hopefully get a little combination going next turn. We'll be able to put Seedborn Muse on top of the library with Worldly Tutor in response to a Golos activation. And then we'll be able to play things at instant speed with the Alchemist's Refuge and activate Golos on every single turn, because Seedborn Muse will untap all of our permanents. So yeah, hopefully we can get something going here. There's the Freyalise. This can blow up the Mirari's Wake, and that's exactly what they're going for. That is the correct play from our opponent. A Shamanic Revelation is going to draw our opponent a card per creature they control, which is currently 5. 5 cards for 5 mana isn't awful. Now, they actually don't have to commit any creatures to attacking in at Jace here, because Kykar surely will swing in at Jace. Yep, and they are thinking that, so that is Jace safe for now. And surely Kykar is going to swing in at Jace next turn, but that does leave them open to another point of damage from a squirrel. A Psy Master Thopterist, so it looks like this might be Flying Tribal from our opponent. Whenever our opponent casts an artifact, they get a Thopter. Okay, Time Twister. We want to protect some cards that are in our hand here, so let's go for the Brainstorm in response to that. And we get into the Brainstorm again. There's a Consecrated Sphinx, Avacyn Angel of Hope. I think it's worth a Vampiric Tutor on the upkeep, and then going for a Scroll Rack so that we can get down the Avacyn. And the Consecrated Sphinx, actually. Or we could just do that with Brainstorm, couldn't we? Brainstorm puts 2 cards on top. So yeah, we could hold off on the Vampiric Tutor for now if we want to. A Ponder from the Kykar as well, so they're up to a couple of spirits, going to sacrifice 1, most likely, for a Skull Clamp, although they've got 7 cards in hand. So I'm not sure what they're really going for here. Maybe they're trying to assemble a combo and draw as many cards as possible. Or they might just want to discard. And yep, the Kykar swinging in at Jace, as we all assumed it would. So down goes Jace the Mind Sculptor. Now then, at the end of the turn, what do we want to do? I don't think we care about a Vampiric Tutor. We could Vampiric Tutor a Seedborn Muse onto the top. But we can only put 2 cards on top with Brainstorm, can't we? Yeah, so let's just wait on this Vampiric Tutor for now. We're going to rely on Brainstorm this turn. Deciding to get rid of a couple of lands when discarding down to hand size. Now, we are not going to Vampiric Tutor because we somewhat know what we're going to do this turn. Okay, Leyline of Anticipation is good. Let's shock down the Overgrown Tomb. Play the Mana Crypt. Oh, and we can play an additional land each turn, can't we? I forgot about Azusa, so let's get that down as well. Then it's draw 3 cards and put 3 cards on top. Oh, there's an Elesh Norn as well. Elesh Norn and Avacyn, I think, and we can hard cast the Consecrated Sphinx. Yeah, so we'll put Avacyn and Elesh on top. We can play Temple of the False God, that is our last land. And then can we afford Chromatic Lantern? That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. We would be 1 short, so we can't get down the Lantern. Let's just go for the activation on Golos. And there we can get into the Avacyn and the Elesh Norn. We obviously know about those because we just put them on top. Then we will also get down the Consecrated Sphinx. We'll have to crack our Wooded Foothills first. Yeah, that gets rid of the Freyalise player. Let's just throw down the Volcanic Island. We'll go for the Consecrated Sphinx. And we can hold up Vampiric Tutor, which is good. Now that we are indestructible, we might as well just swing in with everything. Likely that we'll win this one, but Kykar might have some exile effects for the Avacyn. The Elesh Norn keeps them from getting their tokens into play. Kykar draws a card at the beginning of the turn, so we will get our Consecrated Sphinx to trigger. We get back into the Worldly Tutor. I don't think we're going to be showing off the Seedborn Muse instant speed shenanigans, but we can try and go for them. Well, there's a Time Spiral again. Do we want to... We might as well cast the Vampiric Tutor and draw into something if we're going to lose it anyway. Oh, and this shuffles, doesn't it? Oh, so we just lost 2 life for nothing. Yeah, I forgot that the Time Spiral makes everyone shuffle their graveyards and hand. Oh, and they go for a Force of Will anyway, so they lost a life that they didn't need to lose as well. But it's good to know also that our opponent is running the free counterspells. Yeah, that's information that we didn't have previously, so might actually be worth the 2 life for that. We draw some more cards, which is largely pointless. We don't have free counter magic in this deck. I don't think we have any counter magic in this deck, actually. Just looking over at the deck list now. No, we do not. And we are going to draw a bunch of cards because our opponent drew 7 with the Time Spiral. So we will draw 14 here. And we get into that scroll rack, so that's really good. We can dump a load of cards on top of our library that we want to cheat out with Golos. Just get into a whole heap of lands, actually. A Grim Monolith as well. Let's see if they've got some kind of combo that they want to get off. A Serum Visions, draw a card and scry 2. That will draw us yet more cards with Consecrated Sphinx. We draw into a Snap Mage and another land. And then a Vision Skeins. That is, each player draws 2 cards, so we will draw, 6 cards in this case. We get more mana in Signets and Lands, and get a Icefang Quartal. Then an Everflowing Chalice. I don't know if they're like trying to mill us out here or something. Or deal damage to us equal to the number of cards in our hand. Not sure what their aim is here. But that Everflowing Chalice is just coming out for 0, I think. And Ignite Memories. Target player reveals a card at random from their hand, and it deals damage to that player equal to the converted mana cost, so they're just going for Storm. Yeah, they were going for a lot of card draw and casting spells, so this is Kykar Storm. And that's 8 cards that we have to reveal. We do have a lot of lands in hand, so we just need to try our luck here, and try our opponent's luck as well. And we go down to 7, so our opponent doesn't quite manage to get us. Let's see what we went for. Yeah, there was a Signet, a land, a Snap Mage, the Mirari's Wake, the Maelstrom Wanderer. Yeah, so some pretty big stuff there. Scrubland, the Strand, the Scroll Rack. Yeah, so some smaller stuff, but a couple of bigger things thrown in there as well. And our opponent scoops up because they know that we have the victory there. Obviously, they didn't like anything else that was in their hand. Just to ensure the victory, we probably would have gone for the Maelstrom Wanderer, the Mirari's Wake, and the Supreme Verdict on top. Cast all of those, our creatures wouldn't have been destroyed thanks to Avacyn. And that would have wiped the board and cleared the way. All of our creatures would have had haste thanks to the Maelstrom Wanderer. And likely could have swung in for lethal there. I think we have more than enough power on the board to go in for lethal. But yeah, a very interesting game, by far the fastest game that I've ever played of multiplayer, and hopefully you all enjoyed it as well. Didn't get to show off the flash shenanigans that we've added into the deck with Golos, but hey, if any of you want to see those, then you'll have to let me know, and I will play another game or two with Golos and upload it to the channel. Hopefully you all enjoyed this one anyway. I'm Tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.